Welcome to Crime Stoppers. I'm your host, Chip Brown. Heartland Crime Stoppers is a community-based program designed to help law enforcement solve crime by providing a way for the public to phone in tips anonymously and receive cash rewards of up to $3,000 for information that leads to an arrest, the recovery of stolen property, or the recovery of illegal drugs. Heartland Crime Stoppers is funded through the State of Florida Office of the Attorney General Crime Stoppers Trust Fund and through donations from the community. Citizens and local businesses make Crime Stoppers work. On today's show, we will talk with Cathy from Polk County's Helping Hands program. But first, we'll start the show off with the Auburndale Police Chief, Andy Ray. Andy, it's so good to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, you, this is a brand new position, having been the deputy chief at Auburndale, and now you are chief of police.
Yes. So it's basically I've realized a lifelong dream. Something that I thought a long time ago about, and so I think during my my speech on the night that I was promoted, I said that I had reached the pinnacle of my career. So it's kind of neat. I worked for Chris Nelson, who was the police chief, who's now at the state attorney's office as the executive director. And he's the guy that gave me the opportunity to go there from the sheriff's office after 25 years there, and to work with him as his deputy. And I kind of had resigned myself to the idea that, which is not a big resignation, but to the fact that he's younger than me, he'll be here longer than me, and so I'll be his deputy and I'll love my job, which I did as the deputy. And then all of a sudden, he had this opportunity that he couldn't pass up, and we met and talked about it, and he told me that he was taking the job, and so Bobby Green, our city manager, offered me the police chief's job after that, and I'm honored to have been given this opportunity, and it's been very enjoyable so far. Lots of work, a lot of things going on. But I'm really happy to be there.
Yeah, from growing up in Winter Haven and being involved locally and being able to stay in your hometown and going away to school and being a free ride along for FHP, and there's a lot of preparation that you had to take to get to this position. It just didn't get tossed in your lap. It was a lot of preparation, a lot of hard work, and just being a good cop.
Right, yeah, so it does require a lot. I started as a 14-year-old in the Explorer program at the sheriff's office, and then moved to Winter Haven Police Department and when I was 15, and was there till I was 19 when I joined the Highway Patrol Auxiliary. So I had a good opportunity to see what it was really about, to understand and experience the job, and not to have some idea about what it was without really knowing what I was going to get myself into. I got to do ride-alongs then as a teenager, and saw some very interesting things, and said this would be a great career. I'm not only was I interested, I'm even more interested now than ever, and so I set my sights on getting my degree and coming back here and getting a job in law enforcement, and kind of formulated a plan then. And it is a lot of work. It's a lot of preparation. The job calls for an ability. First of all, if you don't have a great sense of humor, and you know this, if you don't have a great sense of humor, you're not going to get through 25 or 30 years of the job. You have to have it because of the things that you see and deal with. You have to have an ability to, in a way, compartmentalize the things that you experience, and somehow get through those. We all deal with those in different ways.
Yes.
But that those early years allowed me. I think they kind of prepared me for what I would be facing and the reality of the job, the things that were not from watching Adam 12 as a kid.
Yes.
And being enamored with police work over that, but also actually experiencing it, which was really neat.
Yeah, I look back, when I started as a 21-year-old in Lakeland, the people that mentored me, understanding that they had been through the same thing and helped, and just sticking to what you know is right, and treating people right, putting in those midnight shift hours, and working those tedious burglaries and dusting for fingerprints that we all had to do back in those days. We didn't have crime scene units, and just learning the basics of law enforcement. And then as you grow, we had the opportunity to go to the National Academy, the FBI National Academy, and so many training classes, and just learning from those above you and being able to pass that down to the officers that you'll soon be hiring.
Sure, sure. So, those schools that you mentioned, there's a lot of preparation involved for the job. So, I was lucky enough to go to the Southern Police Institute and attend the administrative officers course at University of Louisville, and was there for 11 weeks. And
it just seemed longer, didn't it?
It did. It did. And it was an academic exercise for sure, but it was a great opportunity to learn from other people around the country too. It's always nice when you realize that you're not the only person in that situation that you're dealing with. That there are lots of other people who are having experiences and that are doing the same job you've done. And it's always neat to compare notes, because we all do things differently, sometimes based on geography, or whether you're a sheriff's officer or a police department or a state agency or whatever. There are subtle nuances, that are a little different. So, but to be able to compare notes, and I had two roommates, one from Minnesota and one from Virginia, and we got along greatly. They're my friends, today, and just the opportunity to talk to people that are in the business and have experiences, and to see, kind of gauge, are we doing the right things? Are they doing the right things as we approach the job every day? So, and then I did get to go to the Senior Management Institute for Police in Boston for 3 weeks at Boston University. And that was a great experience too, because again, I had people from all over the country, and actually there was a police lieutenant from Canada that was in the class with us too. So that's kind of neat too, to talk to him about their experiences there. So, but just opportunities to learn and to kind of prepare you for taking on greater responsibility, and help you as you move forward. And like you said, it's so important to do the right thing. And we've heard it said, and we try to practice the fact that, if we tell our people, if you do the right thing, we'll do the right thing, and if you somehow do the wrong thing, we're still going to do the right thing. A mistake of the heart is harder to get over than a mistake of the head. And those kinds of things. If your heart's in the right place, and you're doing this work because it's important to you and it's meaningful, and you just make a mistake because we're human and we do.
We all do.
We
yes.
can get over that. It's when you have other intentions that we can't get over, really. So, but being able to talk to other professionals who deal with the same things and have the same experiences, and it is very helpful.
Yeah. We hire from the human race, and we're always going to have those situations with people that come up. Like you say, some are because they made a mistake, or some are because maybe they're trying to circumvent, what they're supposed to be doing, and therein lies the problem that we never like to have to deal with, but we have to do that in that profession. It's just so important, that integrity.
Yes, absolutely. And so, that's a big part of the pre-employment screening process. We purposely bring people before a board, and we examine them closely, and we look at them, we look at the presentation, we listen to what they're saying. We're trying to size them up just like we're sized up every day by everyone we come in contact with. Everybody. It's human nature for us to basically to assign values and opinions about the people that we deal with and the people that we come in contact with, and so that gives us a chance to size them up and make some decisions about whether or not we want to move forward, even from that spot. with an applicant, and is this person do they have the right attitude and aptitude for the job? Can you see in what they say that they're truly concerned about the community and that they want to make a difference? Because most of us are in this business because we think we can make a difference in our communities, and we want to do that. It's for most of us, it's a calling. It truly is. You know this. I'm not. So, but it's important to you, and it's something that you felt called to do. And if you stay with it for as long as we have, it's not because you're getting rich or anything like that. It's because you are being fulfilled, and I think that's an important part of it.
It really is. Chief Ray, we had planned to talk about some other things, and we're running a little bit short of time, but just the support that your city and your businesses in Auburndale give you and support you and the community, it really is, so many different chiefs are very envious of what you have in Auburndale.
They should be. I mean, and I don't like to brag, but I'll brag on Auburndale and say that it's a great town to work in, and we have great support, like you said, from our business community, from our residents, from our government, from our elected officials, from our city manager, our assistant city manager. We have great relationships with our department heads in the city. We all get along, and we all understand the importance of working together to accomplish our goal of making Auburndale a better place every day. And I feel a little bit like it's kind of utopia. I mean, I know it's kind of weird, but it is. We don't. There's no small town politics. There's great support. I'm blessed to be there, and we have great people working at the police department, and that's super too. And we're all on the same page, and we work together to make it a safer city for everyone. So.
Well, Chief Ray, I know that the city of Auburndale is very excited to have you as our chief, and we'll have you back on the show, and we'll get some more information from you.
That'd be great. It's always a pleasure.
For more information about the Auburndale Police Department, you can check them out on the web at www.auburndalefl.com. Crime Stoppers provides a way for local law enforcement to receive information on crimes while keeping the people providing that information anonymous. These efforts increase tips, which in turn solves more crimes, and it helps identify criminals in our community. Here's a look at some of our most recent cases.
On November 26, 2017, 30-year-old Barry Lee Powell Jr., North Pleasant Avenue in Bartow, was walking westbound along the shoulder of Highway 60 just west of Cedar Trail Landfill in Bartow when he was struck by an unknown vehicle also traveling westbound. Powell was declared dead at the scene. The vehicle which struck and killed him failed to stop. The vehicle is an unknown make and model black vehicle that would have damage to the passenger side, front headlight assembly, and front quarter panel. Between Thursday, October 11, 2018, and Monday, October 15th, unknown suspects illegally entered a structure in the area of Reynolds Road in Lakeland and stole several firearms, World War II collectible rifles, pistols, double-barrel shotgun, and an AK-47. A few of the firearms were recovered in the Secret Cove neighborhood, but detectives are still looking for the remaining weapons. A $5,000 reward is being offered for the tip made to Heartland Crime Stoppers that results in the arrest of the person or persons responsible for the recovery of the missing weapons. At approximately 11:41 a.m. on Tuesday, October 16th, a retail theft occurred at the CVS located at 6105 Highway 98 North in Lakeland. 3 unknown black females arrived in the business and entered through the front entrance, Once inside the business, they concealed several items in their bags before fleeing the business without paying for the items. All three suspects fled the area in a four-door, white-color sedan traveling north on Highway 98. On Monday morning, October 22nd, at least 4 cars were burglarized on Fred Court in charming downtown Polk City. A similar car burglary was reported around the same time in the Sandy Point neighborhood just south of Polk City. They are believed to have occurred between 5 and 6 in the morning, and it appears they used 2 vehicles to get away. If you have any information on any of the cases you've just seen, or any information on an unsolved crime, please contact Heartland Crime Stoppers and leave an anonymous tip. The toll-free tip line is 1-800-226-TIPS. That's 8477. You can also leave an anonymous web tip by going to www.heartlandcrimestoppers.com and click on the Give a Tip tab, or by going to www.p3tips.com. Don't forget, you can download our free P3 Tips app on your smart device. Whichever way you choose to leave a tip, you will remain 100% anonymous. If your tip results in an arrest, the recovery of stolen property, or the recovery of illegal drugs, you could be eligible for a cash reward of up to $3,000.
Welcome back to Crime Stoppers. I'm your host, Chip Brown. The Helping Hands program was designed to help Polk County residents who have a history of arrest and mental illness with the support, resources, and expertise needed to succeed in the community post-release. Joining us in the studio is Cathy Hatch, who serves as a community health care planner in Polk County. Cathy, I want to thank you for joining us on the show today.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Now, as we were talking just before we started here, understand that you are from Mississippi before you ended up here in Polk County.
I started my life in Mississippi, yes. I've done a whirlwind through the South. I'm glad to be in Florida, though.
Yeah. Now, also understand that your background is actually, you have a math degree.
I do have a math degree, but life experiences led me into social service work, and that's really what I've been doing for the last 17 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you first came down, you had the opportunity to get involved with the homeless issue, and just kind of grew into where you are today. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So when I first came to Florida, I was a stay-at-home mom, but I was ready to go back into the workforce, and I had an opportunity to work for the Homeless Coalition of Polk County as their executive director. So I started there in the year 2000 and learned a little bit really just from working with the people about homelessness and the issues that surround people who are homeless. And you know, it was a learning curve for me, but you might imagine that people who are homeless also deal with substance abuse issues and mental health issues. So there are a lot of issues with the homeless population that translate into criminal justice and mental health.
And so many of them don't have that support family or friendship or the means to get the help that they're seeking.
Right. And I would say back in 2000 when I was at the Homeless Coalition, that's when the mental hospital for Polk County, which was in Arcadia, that served Polk County, they closed those hospitals. So there was an influx of mentally ill folks who had been living, you know, their whole life at the hospitals that came back to the community. So we saw those folks coming back into the community really as displaced people.
And so many times when they come back because of their issues, they end up with contact with law enforcement, and they end up, you know, back in jail because there's not a place to put them so they can get the care that they need for their mental issues.
Right. So, you know, the state created some programs to help them, such as the FACT team, which is run by Peace River Center locally, and then there's another FACT team. But by and large, there are plenty of people with mental illness who need more help than they are able to receive. So they are on the streets. Some of them are trespassing and having arrests that are kind of minor infractions, and really they end up in jail when probably they should be better served by being in a treatment facility. Yeah.
Now, I know that a lot of the funding for this comes through a half-cent tax that the county has, and it's going, what has been just passed for another, what, 20, 25 years?
25 years, yeah. So.
And this funds almost all the programs that you have.
Sure. So I'm working in the indigent health care department within Health and Human Services of Polk County. So the half-cent sales tax for indigent health care actually generates about $45 million a year. So it's a big budget.
Wow, that's a lot.
My job is to help do some strategic planning and some management in some of those programs that are funded by that project, by that tax. And so recently, about a year ago, Dr. Thomas McMicken, who was on our Citizens Healthcare Oversight Committee, he died a year ago, but he served on that committee up until his death. He and Sheriff Judd were discussing the need for helping folks with mental illness so they don't have to go to jail, in and out, in and out. They were seeing this cycling of people
Yes.
in the jails, out, back in again. And the idea for doing something for those people was born. And the Board of County Commissioners decided to back that with some funding from the indigent health care tax, and that's how the project landed on my desk. Yeah.
Now, this is called the Helping Hands, and it has really involved a lot of different agencies within the county to really get the services and that these people need. So tell us about the Helping Hands program.
Okay, so our job was to figure out what the problem was and how to address it. And the problem that surfaced was we had about 30 inmates per month being released from jail who were taking psychotropic medications while they were in jail. Then they would get out. They would not continue their meds or wouldn't get reconnected with their healthcare provider, so then they would cycle back into jail again. So we designed a program called Helping Hands, and HANDS stands for Healthcare Access, Navigation, Delivery, and Support. So all of those elements are built into the program. It's a unique program only to Polk County. We designed it right here with our resources that we have.
Well, this is a brand new program. You didn't copy from somewhere else. This is
That's
homegrown, if you will.
It is homegrown, and it focuses on connecting the individual with a mental illness or substance abuse problem. They have to agree they want to be in the program. They're not court ordered. So we identify those people who have had at least 2 arrests in the past 12 months, and they're taking psych meds while they're in jail. So we have a list of them. We know who they are. We reach out to them and invite them to consider the program, and if they accept, then we're able to engage them. And the engagement is pretty unique because our team consists of partnership between Polk County EMS and Tri-County Human Services, who provides peer specialists. We have a manager from Central Florida Behavioral Health Network, and then we partner with all the other mental health providers in the county to have all the resources at the table when we engage these folks. So the really unique piece of it is that our paramedics, they have a new part of their program called community paramedicine, where they're doing more preventative care than they are reactive care to emergencies. So these community paramedics go into the jail, meet the potential clients, begin building a relationship with them, and then when that person is released from jail, the paramedics are there to pick them up, take them home, give them a 30-day supply of their medication that they need, sit down and talk to them about any health care questions that they have, kind of do a thorough exam, and then they're there as a resource to help that client get connected to their mental health services.
Yeah. Now, if these people don't have a home to go to, how is that situation handled?
Yeah, so we have a whole nother grant that we're working on. It's about to kick in the next couple of months, which will allow us to pay for housing for those folks up to 6 months to try to help them get housed, and then on their feet, either with a Social Security disability if they're disabled, or a job. Yeah.
Just that stability will enable them to build from where they are, because basically they just about can't function, really, I guess you would have to say, you know,
Yeah.
and they need that stability, just that little bit of support to get them back into society and get their life back together where they can be a part of society and have a job and be able to have these things. Because right now they're just, so many times they're just kind of a forgotten population.
Right, they are. And I want to make this point. I was a little concerned about coming on Crime Stoppers because there's a real stigma attached to mental illness, and we really try to take that stigma away. We don't want people thinking that because a person has a mental illness that they're a criminal, because mental illness is not a crime, right? And that's why Sheriff Judd was so in favor of helping these people stay out of jail, because he knows they're sick, they're not criminals. Yes. So we want to get that stigma taken away from the to not work against them, you know.
Yeah, well, people, we take medicine for diabetes or, you know, hypertension and stuff like that, and so there's a number of issues, and that includes, unfortunately, some people with mental illness.
Right, yeah.
Now, the paramedics, the community paramedics, they obviously have a schedule. They come back and visit these people throughout the month as well. It's not just a one-time thing.
That's right.
And they're just to make sure they're taking the meds and just encourage them to, again, just give them that support that's just so valuable that they've been missing.
Yes, it's really remarkable. And the paramedics are a team with the peer specialist, and I didn't really say what the peer specialist is, but those are people who have also either have a mental illness or a substance abuse problem that they've recovered from. And so they know how to work through problems. So they come alongside almost as a mentor. Mm-hmm. And the peers and the CPs or the paramedics work together as a team. So we hope that these clients, when they do begin to struggle in the community, that they'll pick up the phone and call their paramedic to come rather than acting out and getting in trouble again. Yeah.
How many clients do you have now in that program?
Well, it's just started recently, so we have 16 right now. Our first month we have 16, and the numbers grow by the day. So every week we take in several more. Every week we're taking in more and more.
Now, if someone were interested in this and wanted to maybe volunteer or to help with a program like this or some kind of mental health issue, is there some way that they can reach out and make a contact so they can perhaps volunteer?
Well, I don't know. We haven't had anybody offer to volunteer, but we probably could come up with some good ways to volunteer. They could call me at my office and we could talk about that. So you want my phone number at the office?
Well, I think we'll share it here at the
okay.
end. I think we'll be fine with that. But I know there's so many people that just want to help and don't know what to do or how to do it, you know, and just that little bit of guidance, that little bit of encouragement, and I'm sure that with the need that our community has, that it would make a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, having people come alongside our clients just as a friend, that goes further than you can imagine. Even the CPs, the paramedics, have been going to AA meetings with the clients, and it's remarkable, the relationships. And you know, life is about relationships.
Indeed it is.
Yeah.
Indeed it is. Well, Cathy, thank you so much for being on the show this morning, and we look forward to hearing some more good things about the indigent health care and the Helping Hands program.
Well, thank you.
For more information on the Polk County Indigent Health Care, you can reach them at 863-533-1111. That's going to do it for this edition of Crime Stoppers. Keep in mind, Heartland Crime Stoppers is an organization that helps law enforcement solve crimes through anonymous tips and monetary rewards. It encourages a cooperative partnership between law enforcement, the media, and the community to ensure security and enhance our quality of life here in Polk County. For more information, you can check us out on the web at heartlandcrimestoppers.com or follow us on Facebook at Heartland Crime Stoppers Florida. Until next time, keep in mind, it's a crime, and you can help make sure that they don't get away with it.